Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of High Vis Low Reg. Tonight, we'll be interviewing Staff Sergeant Jesse Orosco of the United States Air Force. Me and Jesse met back in 2021 when he attended a Marine Corps Corporal's course that I was one of the instructors. We also ran into each other in the Philippines, where I worked with him to fabricate parts. Without further ado, Staff Sergeant Orosco.
Here's my homie trying to be patriotic. Wanted to fight for Uncle Sam, so we dropped out of college. Looking back at his friends like you're not gonna follow, then you're not a real American. Your heart is all hollow. He enlisted, and in a couple of months was trained. Jumped up on the plane with what Uncle pumped in his brain. Dehumanize the enemy, except you're there to set him free. That's an oxymoron, B, and that's why they're not sending me.
Jesse, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Good to see you.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see you,
having me,
too,
bro.
man. No, absolutely, man.
I always wanted to be on Joe Rogan, dog. I appreciate you, man. It's a great opportunity, dude.
I'll never be as good as that guy, bro. I'll try my hardest though, bro. All right, so we'll start off by why don't you just go ahead and like introduce yourself, like who you are, what you do in the military, and your rank in the military as well.
All right, sure. I'm Jesse Orosco from California. I'm a staff sergeant in the military in the U.S. Air Force, aircraft mechanic. Fix the big planes, the cargo planes, and been doing that for like 8 years. And while I was stationed in Japan, I got invited to go to this sick Marine course, NCO Academy type deal for a month, and this fine gentleman was my instructor and my boss and my daddy for a little bit. So that's how we met.
All right, you want to kick it off with that? Let's kick it off with that, dude. So a little backstory. You guys, what's your PME, your professional military education to advance to E5? What's that called?
That's going to be ALS, Airman Leadership School.
Okay, so for us, obviously, it was Corporal's course, right? And
yeah.
And I decided to do nepotism and get my wife in there. And you were one of the ones that she was like, no, she can hang. So like about that, what was kind of like a couple of the differences you noticed going into this course, like between the Marine Corps and between the Air Force?
Man, I don't know if I ever told you, but them boys gave me hell, man. Them Marines gave me hell because they offered me to stay in a dorm while I was doing it, so I'd have to drive 40 minutes back and forth. Because I don't know if you know, Marines stay in the barracks, Airmen stay in the. I had a fucking apartment with a crib and my bad. yeah.
Just like
I was staying. So they're like, hey, you want to stay in the barracks? We're giving you a room while you do the course, and I was like, cool. Tried it for a few days, and man, they was giving me hell, man. But it's all love,
Yeah.
And then when I started the class, obviously the first few days, dudes didn't want to open up. Dudes was being tough, and I'm like, it's respect. I expect nothing less. If it didn't happen, I'd be disappointed. So, but within time, I started showing them that I was with the PT, and then I was with the action, and eventually they're like, all right, this dude's not bad. He ain't one of the soft ones, so. They started showing love. Swanson, one of my best friends in my life,
Oh my God. Yeah, bring up, so about Swanson, give a little backstory about who Swanson is.
Man, this is the most Marine, hard charging, hard dude. Like, I don't need to say it. He's that dude, man. I'm telling you right now, if your house caught on fire and you seen Swanson running up with his shirt off, you good. You're all good. Your family's good. He's gonna go back for the dog too.
Yeah. And dude, his voice is fucking crazy. I can't even replicate it right now.
No,
I can't do it, bro. I have to go like 12 octaves down.
We all thought he was kidding the first time we heard him talk, and then we realized
I did too.
This is how he talks. This guy's this is Barry Bonds right here. He's a heavy hitter. But back to your original question, the difference between the Air Force and the Marines, 100%. Is the discipline that the Marines have, man. You boys are on their P's and Q's 24/7, and it's a nonstop gig. And when the day's over, you're still a Marine, and they still act like a Marine. I would hit Swanson and be like, yo, man, I'm in the barracks, I'm bored, what do I do? He's like, go PT. I'm like, bro, I PT twice already, bro. He's like, go do it again. I'm like, dog, what? That he was just about that action. I was like, man, so when I came back to my unit, I definitely brought some shit with me, and I was like, hey man, like we could all be cool here, we're chilling and everything, but yeah, we need to be more on our P's and Q's because with the discipline, it's a little rougher to go through the day to day
Yeah.
than it is in the Air Force, but you lose the respect when you go to the Air Force side. You don't have the discipline, so
Hmm.
sometimes people lack respect. You gotta put them back in line a little more often. You know,
How is that?
that's probably the biggest thing.
How did you bring that Marine Corps side into, or what you learned from the Marine Corps side into the Air Force?
Well, yeah, I definitely wouldn't toot my own horn, but I think I've always been good with communication and relating to different groups. So
Hmm.
when I came back, off of what I did for that month, people were just tighter. They were just more on point. Everyone like showed a little more respect where it needed to be, and it wasn't out of place either. It was like what it should. That's what the military what I always thought it would look like, But the Air Force changes rapidly. They say the Air Force is a business and the Marines is the military. Air Force is ran like a business. So when
Yeah.
I came back, man, I came through and I just gave some speeches and I was like, look, man, we sloppy out here, man. Like we sloppy, man. Like we could still do our thing and have a
Yeah.
good time and everything, but these all this yapping off and everything like that, bro, we got to cut that. And everyone, like someone said it too when I came back. They were like, damn, what they do to you out there? And I was like, bruh, I had a whole new respect. And after that, I never complained about anything in the Air Force ever again. Just off of working with you for 1 month, bro. I swear to God, I was like, I'm not complaining again, bro.
Hey, I gotta tell you too, that was one of the most fun times I had too. Like you guys,
Yeah,
I'm
that was
like,
fun.
you guys, from what I gathered, had a bunch of fun. Dude, teaching that shit is so fucking rewarding. So
Dude,
rewarding.
that shit was fun, and I recommended it to so many people, but
Mhm.
people they scared, they don't want it, they don't want to, you know what I mean? They're like, no, I ain't gonna. I'm like, man, don't be, just do it, man.
No,
Come
just
on,
do
like
it.
you got it, just do
Exactly.
it. But dudes are scared, so they don't want to see what's up. They don't want the smoke.
I always loved working cross branch. Like that was always fun for me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I went on like three TADs or TDYs for y'all, um, right on my last year, and so I went to Korea, and then I went to the Philippines, where you and I saw each other again, and then I went to Amami, not in that order. Different island in
yeah,
Japan, and each time, dude, I mean, in Amami, I worked like I literally saw the army guys. I went beeline to them, and I'm like, dude, let me help you, let me work with you, everything like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Korea, we were working with the Korean Marine Corps, and
Damn.
then the Philippines, you and I worked together again there too. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
working cross branch. It gives you such a, or at least for me, it gives you such like a just a different perspective on things. Whether it be like they do these things different, maybe we should start implementing that as well.
no, 100%, 100%. Because you want to get better, you don't want to remain stagnant. You know what I mean? And
Exactly.
that's not even just with military. That's just with as a man. You want to make sure that if people have different insights, you gotta constantly grow.
Exactly, dude.
You
If
know,
you're not if you're not growing, you're dying, dude.
that's a good yeah. That's a good way to put it. I put if you're not growing, you're slowing. But yeah, it's the same.
Yep.
It's the same concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to say though, isn't the craziest thing we met in Japan, and then me and you were in the Philippines together as well. Like, dude, the military, man. I'll tell you, man. It was fun, man.
Dude, it's so wild. Yeah. Just the off
It was fun.
off chance that you were one of the ones that raised your hand to go to that corporal's course, and then again in the
Yeah,
Philippines we fucking run into each other. But
yeah, yeah, man.
that's the thing with, like, I feel like you were because we just had Britain here too. But like you were saying that the C-130 like community, see,
Hmm.
or your community, right, is small, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
aircraft
People know
mechanic.
everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm. And so
Yeah,
like you hop to every base, and then you're like, if you don't know somebody, you know somebody who knows somebody,
yep,
and
yep,
then you
yep.
call that buddy who knows that person, and you're like, bro, what's the situation, bro? Like,
Yeah.
is it
I mean,
fucked
it's a
up?
blessing and a curse, honestly, because if you're a POS dude, you know what I mean? If you're a piece of shit
Yeah.
and and then you try to go to a new base and you try to talk some talk and just front, people just make a call real quick and be like, "Yo, what's this dude Orosco about?" And they're like, "Oh, dude,
Yeah.
that dude sucks, man. Like, don't and off the rip
And you're
before you
done.
even try, yeah, you're done. So it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, dude, because like that small community, like, because in my AFSC, we have 160 Marines from E1 to E7 total Marine Corps.
Damn.
So
Mm-mm.
tiny, dude. Word gets
No.
around.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Hey, I don't know if you know, but somebody died in the Philippines.
Really? What
Yeah.
happened?
First off, if you don't edit this out, let's tell the people right now.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how broadly we're speaking here, but the U.S. military goes everywhere, and they have their finger in every corner of the earth.
Oh yeah.
And that's something I realized since being in, especially the unit I was in the Pacific right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anything popped off in the Pacific, we're there.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, damn. I was always like, damn, bro, we're up in this. So the whole time I was a mechanic, especially when I was in Japan, dude, I went to New Zealand. I've been
Mm-hmm.
to Thailand. I've been to Nepal. I've been to the Philippines. I've been to South Korea
Mm-hmm.
multiple times. I was living in Japan. But yeah, when we were in the, we were in that jungle hotel over there in the
Oh
Philippines.
my God,
And
bro.
I was before work one day. I was standing outside and I was talking crap, and I was like, man, they got this bull. I was like, they got this bull little curfew, man. I was like, we can't do nothing. This food sucks. Like, I got a stomach bug. Like, it's hot as hell. And this like lieutenant colonel was like standing right there, and he was like, oh yeah, what else do you feel? And I was like, man, this shit sucks, man. I was like, look at this. I was like, this sucks, bro. The beds, I can't sleep. There's bees in the goddamn room, and I was like, there's tapeworms. There's monkeys at the pool. And he was like, well, I'm the commanding officer of this whole project, so what else do you have to say? And I was like,
Oh, oh,
bruh.
oh.
And I was like, oh shit.
I ain't
But
got
I mean,
shit to say
luckily,
now, bro.
luckily he wasn't. Luckily he was more open minded. He was like, what up? Like he was like, no, it's all good. Like what else do you have to complain about? Like I'm listening. And I was
Yeah.
like, well, I heard somebody died. And he was like, well, yeah, like, yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was like, sacrifices, like it
Wait.
happens. It was an army guy. I don't know how he died,
Oh
but
damn. That sucks, bro.
yeah,
That's
yeah. So that guy died. My one of my pilots got bit by a mosquito, got malaria. Boy was down. Boy was in the hospital. They had to take that boy. When we flew home, he was in the cargo by himself. No one was talking to him. He was like, "Yo, don't come back here. Don't come back here." Like I was like, "Dang, it was real, man."
oh
And
my God.
yeah, and then I met this. And then just an example of how different the Air Force and the Marines live. I seen this Marine, bald headed white dude. He was red as a flag, and I was like, "Yo, why you so red? Why you so beat up?" He was like, "Man, this whole time we're out here, we're staying in the tent in the middle of the runway." And I was like, "I'm over here complaining about how hard my bed is, bro." I was like, "Dang, dude, let me shut, dude, let me
That
shut up."
that's the thing is I know the air like the Marine Corps, we live for our field well, I would say live. Some of us love going to the field and basically means that we just go live out in tents and stuff like that. And that happens quite often. Like even my first unit, we were it's first maintenance battalion. Basically all we were everybody MOS in that battalion, besides like some admin people or whatever, all of us maintainers. So there's an entire I think it's called wing for y'all, like the wing
Oh,
was all
yeah, yeah.
maintainers. And
Huh.
so, and we even went to the field. Like we would go out there, fucking set up tents, and sometimes, I think it wasn't there. We slept under the stars. Sometimes we'd sleep under the stars, dude. You know what I mean? Like nothing.
No, I don't know what you mean, but I'm listening.
Yeah, but like it's crazy because because I know the Air Force that doesn't happen. You know?
No, it wouldn't happen.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, if we go to third world countries, the Air Force will always put us in a 5-star because they want to make sure we're in a safe area.
That makes that I get for sure. That I
That's what.
get for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. You
Speak.
don't want to put like the mission at a you know in danger.
Yeah. If we go to if we go to more developed countries and where it's like, hey, you can't sleep out in the middle of the field or you can't secure a field or whatever, then yeah, like they'll set up us
Yeah,
in some hotels. But
like
not
Papua New Guinea.
I don't I
Yes,
couldn't
dude,
tell
there
you.
were cannibals out there, dude. Hell no.
Bro, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I mean, I got a story. I got a story for Papua New Guinea too, man. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so basically, when I was in Japan, there's a position called FCC. For those that don't know, it's a
Mhm.
flying crew chief. You're a maintainer on a plane, but if you get selected as being good enough,
Mhm.
good enough to survive on your own, they'll send you with the planes. Your wife did a few trips
Mhm.
by herself. I was doing it pretty often. So we were going to. Backstory is this New Zealand pilot, which is an ally of America. He flew to Papua New Guinea, landed on a plane on a runway, and these dudes just rushed him. These dudes, like tribal dudes, rushed him like bow and arrows. They jacked him, beat him down a little bit, took all his stuff. They took his guns. They took everything, and they just started posting pictures with him on like on the internet. And they just had all his guns, and they were just like posted up with him, you know. And this is
Shit.
public knowledge. You could Google
Yeah.
it. Google New Zealand pilot Papua New Guinea hostage, right? So, yeah. So I got. They were like, "Yo, we got some things popping off in Guam. We're trying to station some stuff over there so we can make something happen over there." I guess they were trying to negotiate with these freaking guys, and the guys weren't negotiating, and they were like, "You know what? We're just gonna send a Navy SEAL team over there. You know, we're kind of done talking." So they called me on a Saturday, and they were like, "Yo, man, you're gonna fly out, make this happen." And I was like, "Cool." So, you know, we had some mechanical issues, and I worked through them, and luckily got the plane, got the boats and everything where they needed to go to so they could station for a hostage rescue. And I never got word. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't tell if they went over there and mowed people down, but
Yeah, that's some blackout shit right there that actually happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, man, there was a good mission out there.
On your phone.
Oh,
Is
there
that
it
it?
is. That's that guy right there, bro.
That's it. Oh,
That's
damn!
it.
Bro.
Look on the bottom. You can see they got the lasers, the fully stocked grenade launchers right there.
Yeah, they got a
Dude, he looks like he's
203
having
on
a
that.
bad time.
What the?
He's having a bad time. He is
fuck?
not having a good time, bro. If you exit go back to Google and then go to Google Images, there's more photos too. They are strapped down with his stuff, bro.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
bro.
go to one of those ones right there, like with a bunch of dudes. God,
Bro,
man.
what the?
Yeah, so they called me on a Saturday and they were like, "Make this happen." And then these dudes pull up with some big ass cargo with tarps around them, and I was like, "Is that a fucking boat?" And this dude was like, "Oh, we're not allowed to tow what it is." And this other guy comes up and is like, "Hey, where you want the boat?" And I was like, "Dude, what?" I was like, "Yeah, put it back there." So,
Oh
yeah,
man, that's
that's
man.
On the
Wild.
way, we had engine issues. I diagnosed it. We brought it back home. Had some guys fix it, and then the next day we flew out and made it happen, and actually got the stuff over there. So,
Dude,
you know, I don't know if that guy's still over there. I don't know, but
that's wild, bro.
yeah, that was just one of the missions. You know, I did some cool stuff out there. You know, the Marines got busy out there, and the Air Force showed some love in the Pacific, bro. Bro, we make it happen out there. It was fun.
And actually, so that kind of brings me to my kind of next question. Is like, what's your favorite TDY? Right? What was your favorite
New
trip?
Zealand.
New Zealand for
100%, hands down. Anybody that knows me, anybody that watched this, that's been there, they know. New Zealand, 100%. New Zealand, I should probably not even say this for the public to know, but New Zealand is a hidden gem, bro.
Yeah.
It is one of the best places on earth, and while I was there, I definitely had thoughts to never come back and start a life and raise horses. That place was the best place I've ever been in my life.
What was about it that just attracted you to that? Was like, dude, this is the tits.
Man, you know, I'm in a healthy relationship now, but you know, they got beautiful women out there, man. And I'm not even being like inappropriate. There's just beautiful people out there, man. They got beautiful spirits. And then first off, if you're an American over there and you speak, all you gotta do is talk.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Oh, oh, Mike, where you from, man?" You know, and it's just boom. Like people just show mad love. Everything's fresher out there because I mean they deal with their own agriculture out there. It's not super big. Everything's like really fresh. Mm-hmm. We went to Auckland, and that place was just so popping. They have everything America has basically without like the sloppiness. You know, without the, you know, people from there will probably have their complaints and everything, but man, that's a beautiful place, man. Then we went to Blenheim, New Zealand, and it was just like a wine country, and we just went wine tasting and working hard and going out and having food and going to have drinks. Man, it was great, man. I didn't get one bad vibe from anybody, from any Kiwi out there. That's what they call them Kiwis.
Yeah,
I didn't get one bad vibe from none of them, man. I made some great friends out there, and actually, me and you, when we were drinking in Japan. We actually drank with that dude. That dude Locked, that big food.
Yeah, I thought it was an Aussie.
Yeah,
he was a New Zealander.
New Zealand, yeah.
Oh shit!
So we met him, and then he was TDY in Japan, and that's how we all had linked that night.
Yeah, because he was like a big, like, dude. He looked like a fucking Samoan, bro. It was that big boy,
and they're
dude.
all like that, bro. Dude, they're all like that.
What was the worst part about being in New Zealand, though? Was there any worst part?
Oh my god! Yes. Oh my god! I'm gonna tell you what it was, man.
All right.
We went to New Zealand. Okay, so if you looked at if you were following COVID during the peak of it and everything, New
Yeah.
Zealand happened to be the first country to actually like get over COVID. So after
Mm,
COVID was like just about dying down for the rest of the world, New Zealand was the first one to recover. So they opened
yeah.
their borders, and we were the first foreigners to be allowed in New Zealand.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it was our unit, and we went in,
It's a lot of
went
pressure.
in. It was a lot of pressure because not only are we there as like visitors, we're representing a unit, we're representing like the U.S. Air Force, and people could pick you out. You know, like you're in a crowd, you get picked out. So maybe not you because you're got the got the look, but me for sure.
No,
And
bro, I had that stupid haircut, bro. They know.
yeah.
Nobody walks around
So
with a haircut like we do,
yeah,
bro.
so freaking yeah, halfway through, man, or towards the end, after we're having a blast, man, dude, if the rule in New Zealand was if one person gets COVID in a household, the whole household goes locked down, not that one
Oh
person.
shit.
So we had two to a dorm, and people were just getting knocked down, bro. Like COVID, and we're barely making it. We barely have enough people to cover the shift.
Yeah.
And my roommate is getting sick, and I'm like, oh hell no. So I hit up somebody on the low, one of my bosses on the low, trying to show love. I was like, yo, little newsflash, my roommate's getting sick. Y'all better pull me before he pops, because
Yeah.
then I'm gonna be out too, and we're all gonna be fucked.
Yeah.
And I guess he took that as he didn't take it how I thought he would. I went to Pizza Hut and I got a call and they were like, "Hey, when you get back, you got to come test." And I was like, "Bro, I try to give you on the low, like,
Bro.
you know." And so my other homie calls me and he's like, "Hey, bro, don't hurry back." He's like, "They're in the day room. They're gonna lock you down whether you're positive or negative." And I was like, "What?" So I get back, dude, and I get back and I get to the dorm and they're all standing there. It's an officer and a few higher rankings. And they're like, "Yo, you got to do this test, man." And I was like, "Bro, I'm negative as fuck, bro. Dude, I'm healthy. I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I feel great,
Yeah.
you know." And because I'm a fit person, I'm a
Yeah.
healthy person. Like I stay. And dude, I tested. Boom, it was as negative as it could get. I was like, "Bro, don't get no more negative than that." And they
Yeah.
were like, "I'm sorry, it's like law. We have to lock you down for a week." So my last week there, man, I got locked down and I was out for 7 days. Missed the whole 7 days out there, bro. It was the most frustrating thing in the world. It was horrible, man. It was
That shit was
horrible.
crazy, dude. All of COVID, it really set the precedence um, for how I want to say how boring the military could be. You know what I mean? Like can be. Other
Yeah,
experiences vary, but like um, it was just because when I got to Okinawa, it was in February of 2020, so it's right before all this shit popped off, and
yeah,
then
me too. Actually, that's when I got there too.
yeah, so you know this too. You get to Okinawa, you're about to go to Okinawa, all your boys, everybody's telling you is like, yo,
Bro,
this is gonna be where you're going on all these TADYs.
bro.
You're gonna go all these
Gate two is
countries.
popping,
Gate two's popping, bro. You get all these stories about how fucking cool it is. And then when you go overseas and you experience COVID, like stateside, completely different battles, but when you're overseas and
bro.
COVID's going on,
Nope.
dude,
And don't forget, Japan was already wearing masks before COVID.
yeah,
There's the culture. So when the mask thing dropped and the lockdown thing dropped, the Japanese were like, "Oh, that's easy. We're
yeah,
locking down. It's mask till we die." And
yeah.
I was like, "Bruh," you know, it was
Yeah,
horrible.
dude,
But and then
we were still masked up like almost like a year after like
yeah.
most
Hmm.
states were just kind of like we're over this.
Well, I remember it happened for like 2 weeks in Florida, and Florida was like, "Nah, we're good. We're not gonna do that. We're done
DeSan-
with that." I was like,
DeSantis was
"Yeah,
on
you know
one,
what I'm saying?
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. I remember I got to Japan in February 2020. I went to Gate Two my first weekend, and
Oh
I
yeah,
was looking around like I was on the Vegas Strip, bro. I was like, "This is it. I've arrived. I've
yeah,
made it. This is it."
yeah.
And then boom, 2 weeks later, it shut down, and I've never seen it go back to that. Never got, dude. It was pop, bro.
Dude,
It was on and popping.
well, okay, so there's two gate twos, right? There's gate two in Kadena
And one in Ken.
and one in Kintown, but it's
I never
mostly
went.
known for Kintown, Sintown, right?
Yeah, I know.
Bro,
I heard the story of two Marines got caught fucking on the street out there.
yeah, I heard about that too, bro.
Man, that's my homeboy actually. No, I was just playing. But man,
Oh,
fucking going,
dude.
dude, Japan
Oh,
was a crazy time. It was a
dude,
crazy time.
it's so bizarre because like you really can't explain it to somebody who's been stateside for a majority of their military career. You know what I mean?
Dude. And I feel bad when I come home and there's dudes at the base I'm at now. They've been here like 13 years. You know, dude, I know dudes that have been at a base and retired from that base. You know, and you don't want to rub it in someone's face. You definitely don't want to do that. But
Usually,
golly,
if they're
boy,
at a base like that, they want to do that. But dude,
not C-130 field. No, you could get stuck, bro.
really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn, that's wild.
You could get stuck somewhere for 13 years, 10 years, 15 years. It's the luck of the draw.
Bro, you'd have to shoot me in the head to keep me in one place, bro. Like,
Yes, yeah, no
like
lie.
I grew up. My dad was active duty Marine Corps, so we moved around every 3 to 4 years. I haven't been in one place for more than 4 years of my life. Okinawa was one of
Damn.
the longest places I've stayed in a singular spot.
And that's wild that Okinawa was one of the spots you stayed.
Yeah, because my dad was stationed there before in like
Mm.
early 2000s. I think it was like my sister was born in 2004, so like
Yeah,
2002 to 2006 or whatever, or 2005,
yeah.
whatever. But yeah, dude,
Damn.
like you can't keep. I'm still young, bro. Young, right? I feel
Hmm.
fucking old as shit. I cannot
Yeah,
stay in a place yet. I'm not ready to settle down. I still want to experience things. I still want to go do shit. Like
yeah.
I can't do that, man.
To each his own, I guess, because that's actually the reason why I'm getting out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm actually going through TAPS right now. I just
Hmm.
finished my third day of TAPS, so
Oh shit.
TAPS is the DoD's mandatory. Hey, we briefed them on everything
Yeah.
that's coming. We briefed them how to get out. It's mandatory. They have to check that box and say they told you. So
Hmm.
I finished my third day. For me, man,
Yeah.
personally, it's the military was great and I had fun and it was the best decision I ever made. It blessed me, man. I just bought a house. I would not be able to buy this house without it. You know,
Yeah.
I've had beautiful relationships with people. I've met beautiful people, been beautiful places. But dude, I'm 28 and I don't have a place to call home.
Yeah.
So for me, that's something super important. I
Hmm.
actually passed up on Germany to come to freaking Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
damn.
pretty sure I was gonna get Germany, but I was like, you know what, bro, I could party forever and then be 30 something and have nothing to show for it, maybe.
Yeah.
So my whole groove was like, let me get back to the States, let me get a house, let me get some equity under me, let me start,
Hmm.
getting this paper flow like really rolling. So,
Yeah.
to each his own.
Get the essentials. So I was actually going to ask you that too, and I'm glad you brought it up. So you are getting out, right?
I am
That's
getting
the
out,
plan.
yeah. So I'll be
How
punching my clock at 9 years.
that? Dude, so it's funny you mentioned that because that's exactly when I got out. I got out at 8 years and like 11 months, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we were talking about. I was talking about this in one of the last podcasts. It was like, um, why did you get out at 9? Like why are you getting out at 9, dude? And this I'm asking this kind of hypothetically or however because I know the answer what it is for me at least.
Hmm.
But why'd you get out at 9, dude? You're almost halfway there. You know what I mean?
That's an interesting topic, and I'm gonna answer it because people freaking get on my head about it a lot.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this, man, and whoever's listening, or you can take it however you want. But I'm gonna say like this: if you're in something, doing something for 9 years, I got people like, especially people that it's out of love. People are like, dude, you're already 10 years in. You might as well just finish, man, and get a retirement. And I'm like, hey, man, for me, life ain't based on might as well. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about years of my life. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna might as well years of my life. If I'm not freaking happy doing something, man, I'm leaving. That's just it. I'm not gonna freaking suffer for 10 more years. Well, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm not gonna live by the coattails of whoever or where they tell me to live for the next 10 years
Yeah.
under someone else's orders just to be happy when I'm 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could start my own life in 2 years. I could have a whole another ball rolling. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
No,
I'm not
absolutely.
afraid. You know, I could do it. So,
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there. That was
hmm
we talked about it. It was the sunk cost fallacy. It
mm,
basically was like originated with gamblers, where
hmm
you like with gamblers, we'll put it in these terms, right? Gamblers have $900 and they're down $900, right? And
mm,
they're like, dude, I'm already down $900. Might as well put down
mm.
another $1,100
No,
just to
man.
get that money back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's like
yeah. You
it's
ain't.
act it doesn't make sense when you put it in those terms, and especially if you aren't happy or you're not complete. And I want to say you obviously showed happiness while you were
Yeah,
in, while you did
yeah,
all those things, while you went to those TADs, those TDYs, the friendships that you made. But
yeah.
I think, without speaking for you, I think you didn't feel complete because that's how I felt.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. I mean, I couldn't say it better myself. It's crazy that you felt the same way. And
Mhm.
I had a friend of mine named Lynn. He was probably like 40. He had a family and everything, but being in the military, man, it don't matter the age or the race. I've had some best friends at different levels in life, and if you click with someone, you just click with them. So this guy, I explained to him why I was getting out. He was gonna retire in 2 months, and he was like, "It's crazy that you say that." He's basically everything I explained to him. He said those are my biggest regrets.
Damn.
And luckily, I was able to like see those early on
Yeah.
coming down the road. I was like, bro, what if I never have like a neighborhood for my kids to grow up in, and I never have like a
Mm.
good solid marriage somewhere, and I don't have a barbecues and practices to go to. I've been overseas for 4 years. Back in California and Fresno, man. Like I got people are dying, people are being born. There's birthday parties, there's football practices, barbecues. I'm not there.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I got to get back home, bro. That's just me. I had a good time, but you can't party forever, man. Sometimes you gotta look at responsibilities and get your shit in line.
That was that. It's funny you say that. I missed two of my best, like my middle school, high school best friends' wedding. I still talk to them. I just
Yeah,
took a trip up to Tennessee to go see them, and I missed two of their weddings. And these guys are like ride or die, like
yeah,
anything for
yeah,
these anything for these dudes.
yeah,
Hide bodies, whatever it is, dude. I would do
yeah,
that for them.
hundred
And I
percent.
missed two of their weddings because I was either going on a TDY, um, or I was just in Okinawa and it was going to cost thousands of dollars to get back. And
Yeah,
it just like, and it wasn't even that. I think both of them were during TDYs. I couldn't even done it.
yeah. People need to understand, man. Like, my life seems good. If you have me on Snapchat or like you're my homie, you see me like doing these things, having these fun times and everything. But
Yeah.
people ask like, what did you have to give up for that? I'm like, bro, I gave up my whole life. I gave it up, everything.
Yeah.
I gave up everything to get this new life. You know.
Yeah.
So like, people try to knock me or something like, oh, you left up. I feel bad. I do feel bad sometimes because I got people at home that are still struggling. But it's like, bro, I had to give up everything in
Yeah.
order to get this security. Sometimes I'm
Yeah.
like, was it worth it? But
Hmm.
whatever. You can't live life with regrets. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Here I
Kind of,
sit.
yeah, kind of bring it around. This might seem off topic, but I'm trying to bring it around. Why did you join the Air Force? What were you promised? What did you see that you were like, that's why I want to join either the military or the Air Force in specific?
So funny enough, man, not to get too much into a sob story or nothing, but my life
Mhm.
was kind of crap before
Yeah.
I joined. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie to you, man. Like, my pops left when I was 10, and we had a weird relationship. And then my mom's was struggling. She's not perfect either. She was trying to raise us. We were bouncing, got evicted from a few different spots, slept on a few different couches. It is what it is. She kept me alive, but it was like 2016, 2015, and bro, it was not going good, man. I had a job, and I was like, I guess I got to get an apartment. We just lost another spot, and my godfather came from out of nowhere, dude. This
Hmm.
dude was like a detective, and me and him weren't really like, we didn't talk a lot in our lives, but
Yeah.
he always like had vision on me.
Hmm.
People I grew up with were kind of on the rougher side, but he had his family on a great path, and he seen me, man, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you want to come stay with me and like save some money?" And I was like, fuck yeah!" So,
Hmm.
like, so he had a two-story house. He drove like a Chrysler 300. I was like, yeah, I'm honored.
Yeah.
So I go, and he's like, "Hey, man, you can't stay with me. I lied to you." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Bro, you got to get the fuck up out of here, because where I'm from in Fresno, California, it's a little rough, man." And
Yeah.
he was like, and military was never on my scope, man. No one in my
Hmm.
family's ever joined. Actually, I got denied from the Air Force like 4 times.
Oh
Uh,
shit.
yeah, I got denied a few times because the school that I graduated, the high school I graduated from, when I went to apply, they were like, "But your school doesn't exist, man." They're like, "It's not even in our system." And I was like, "What?" So I went back and had to go through like a whole appeal system with the government. And it turns out that no one from my school had ever even enlisted or enrolled in the DoD ever, ever. So I was like, "Fuck." So
That's
I
wild.
don't know.
Nobody?
Yeah, somehow, no, dude, they were not in the system. They were not like they were typing the school name in. They were like, "Your school doesn't exist." They lied to you. That's not a real high school. And I was like, "Yes, the fuck it is." Like, yes, it is.
What?
Well, the high school I was at, I graduated with a class of like 20, and dudes had ankle monitors, and they were like 21, straight out of like juvie and
Oh,
like jail
damn.
and shit. It was a rough place.
Yeah.
But no one had ever put their name on a paper to have to do anything with the government. So,
That's
you know,
wild.
yeah. So I still thank my godfather to this day, and I repaired my relationship with my father. And I still love my mom. I show her love, and that's because you just don't want to hold on to hate. Whatever happened in the past, hey, it's the past, man. Moving
Yeah.
on. But I thank my godfather all the time because I'm like, bro, I don't know where the freak I'd be if you didn't come through and just throw me a freaking bone. So. And yeah, that's why I joined because I had to
Mhm.
get the fuck up out of there. It was the
What?
best. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, man.
Oh, no, I agree. I didn't come from that situation. Probably, I won't say the opposite, but pretty indifferent, but I don't regret it at all. Even
No,
though,
yeah,
even though you and I are similar to where we're getting out after 9 years because we're not complete, I wouldn't
yeah,
trade all of the
nope,
shitty things that happened to me in the
nope,
military for nothing. If you had given me,
nothing.
if you said, give me $1 billion and you forget the last 9 years existed, bro,
Hell no,
I tell you to fuck the right fuck off.
no, for real. Because you know what they say, man. They say any millionaire in the world that's over 50 or over 60 will give up all his riches to buy more youth to be 19 again. You
Yeah.
can't get time back, bro. You can have money. It
Mm-hmm.
don't matter, bro. Those memories and shit, the choices you make, bro, that
Mm-hmm.
shit. Man, I'm really happy that I was able to meet guys like you and everything like
Mm-hmm.
that, guys that I know, man.
Exactly same.
Man, I gotta give a shout out to freaking Corey Walco, Emmanuel Brown, great people, man.
Who are
Jordan
they?
Shiner, you know what I'm saying? Those are all dudes in the Air Force that that I met that I like, man. They helped me with my life,
Mm-hmm.
It's just being a man. It's
Yeah.
being a man. You grow up and you go on your own and you got to figure out how to be a man. They say it takes a village to raise a man.
Mm-hmm.
You need people around you, and I had great people around me.
Did they give you like advice that was military focused? And what you said, like,
No,
build a man, it was just man shit.
no, yeah, and I met people at my first base too, Lee Rooney, dudes that like looked out for me, Chad Mitchell, and I'm sure you had dudes in your career too, you know what it is, bro? Is like you go through life and you're like, damn, what type of man am I gonna be? And you like look at other men and you're like, I like that quality, I like that quality. That guy walks cool, like, and you kind
Mm-hmm.
of just make the man you think that is the right man.
Yeah.
So these are all people that came into my life and like got me up with some free game, and I just
Mm-hmm.
took it and built what I did.
What was the most down and out, most stressed, most just out of your head, not in a right space you were, if you're comfortable with sharing, um, time while you were in the Air Force?
Yeah, you talking about like work wise, right?
Not life, work, everything, man.
Shit,
Like
man.
when were you just like, dude, this is damn near my breaking point.
Funny enough, man. I think I had two situations like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's crazy to talk about because I've always been a man when I was younger. So when I was younger, when people were like, "Oh, I have anxiety" or "I'm depressed," bro, I was always like, "Man, shut the fuck up. They making that shit up, bro." You know?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
people were like, "Oh, I'm suicidal," and I was like, "Man, if you're suicidal, you're a bitch." Like that's just. I was just like, "Man, buck up. If you're in a hole, get yourself the fuck out of it."
Mm-hmm.
Like it was out of love, but I was like, "Man, I just want to see men be strong," and I want everybody to do their best. But as I got older, I started going through shit, and I realized, oh shit, like life be fucking people up. So, but what happened was when I was in the Marine Corps, uh, it was like the first girl I had ever gave any
Air
type of like
Force.
trust to. Yeah, Air Force
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
and the story. I'm not gonna get too much into it,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
because I don't. Yeah, because I don't want to throw salt on her name or nothing like that. But,
yeah.
um, dude, she the first girl. I was 26 years old, and I had never been cheated on. And for the first time in my life, I trusted someone, and they did me wrong. And I was in the Marine Corps when it happened, and I was like, bro, I'm a Marine now. I fucking got cheated on. Like I'm fucking, dude. I was down, dude.
You
My
definitely
homie,
earned your
uh,
card there, bro.
bro. And who came up with, I was walking out the barracks one day, right? I'm walking out, I'm putting my hat on, I'm like, fuck, bro, I'm going through it. And I forget his name, dude. He walked up to me and he was like, "Why you look all beat up?" And I was like, bro, he was like, "You feel that shit? That's the Marine Corps, baby. That's the Marine Corps." He's like, "Turn that shit up. Turn that shit." I was like, "Oh my God, what the fuck is going on, bro?" He was like, "Welcome to the fuck, baby. Let's go. Let's go PT." I was like, "Damn, bro." So that was personal shit. But in the Air Force, the worst experience I ever had was, man, we had this thing called commando flight, man. And that shit was, I went through the first commando flight. So it was like they were creating basically the backstory to it was we're doing more with less. There's
Yeah.
less people, there's less money.
Mm-hmm.
So AFSOC was like, oh, I have this bright idea. I'm gonna take these guys that are pretty good at their AFSCs or their MOSs, and I'm gonna give them two. So we'll take a team of 12. We'll train them double on two AFSCs, and if we need to go make touch down somewhere, we'll have a smaller footprint because
Yeah.
we could take these guys, only 6 of them, to do a
Mm-hmm.
job of 12. You know, so
That
they
sounds
put us in this course.
that sounds
Go ahead.
very Marine Corps, by the way.
Dude, it was fucked like it. I'll tell you what, it fucking sucked. But anyways, I was the first iteration of it, man. It was supposed to go 3 months, and then it went 4 months, and then it went 6 months. And I missed Thanksgiving home, I missed the Christmas home, and usually when you deploy, you work 12s, and you just gotta worry about work. We were on 12s for 4 months, bro. 4 months straight, still having to go home and worry about like regular shit, bro. And that was probably the lowest I ever been in my career, bro. That shit was rough, rough.
What did you do to get out of that? What kept you going? What did you do to kind of like, maybe you didn't do it at the time, you know what I mean? Because like when you're in it, you really, sometimes you're so stressed out, you're like, I only have time to focus on the mission or what's actually going on in front of me or anything like that. What did you do during it? And then what did you do retroactively, like afterwards, to kind of basically heal and be like, I need to go back to normal. I need to
Yeah.
cool myself off. What did you do?
Okay, so I will say, and I never actually thought of that's a good question because I never thought of what I did. But now I think back on it, man, I'm not gonna lie, man. I leaned on people.
Hmm.
Like I definitely leaned on people when I was going through that shit, bro. When I was like really at a low point, I've never thought of killing myself. I've never been the type of person to ever think thoughts like that. I love my life too much. I love life too much.
Yeah.
Uh, but I was in the shower one day and I was like, I could see how a weak motherfucker would right now, because this is rough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I hit up a lot of people and was telling them like, yo, man, like I'm struggling, like I'm slipping, I can feel it. Usually I'm strong. Usually I'm the one that's talking loud, leading people. I was like, bro, I'm fucking broke down right now. I'm fucked. And dudes are just telling me, bro, just stay strong, bro. Like leaning on people is the best type of like relief that you could get in life, bro. It might be
Oh
the
yeah.
same people that people also bring you the most pain in life, but at the same time, man, people can fix you if you let them. So during the time, I think I leaned on a lot of people, man. I reached out to a lot of people, and people like showed me mad love and gave me a lot of support, and I got through that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I know exactly what you mean because I've been on both sides where I've called people, and then I've been on the receiving side of that, where people call me and
Yeah,
and just and
yeah,
just and it feels like just voicing what you have issues
yeah,
with. You know what I mean?
yeah. I
Like,
feel,
dude, this and this is fucking me up. This and this is fucking me up. Whether it be personal, whether it be professional or whatever like that, when you just say those things out loud, it half the time it doesn't even matter what the other person says. You know what I mean? Like for
yeah,
me,
yeah,
just me saying it out loud was just like it felt like just a weight had been lifted off.
yeah, yeah. And a big part of you just doesn't want to sound like a bitch. I'm like, damn, I don't want to be fucking whining.
But
You
but
know,
that's where you need those real ones. You know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. You get some real motherfuckers around you, bro. You get real homeboys, and they'll make you feel like that.
No.
You fucking, hey man, let's pour up and let's just sit down and drink, man. Me and Corey Walker have had drinks at his kitchen table for 8 hours over a bottle. That's the
Mhm.
shit that you need right there, boy.
Exactly.
You know, yeah, I've had good people, man, help me through some shit. So I'm really happy to have them. And obviously, when I was in the shit, I had people in the shit with me.
Yes.
So though it was fucked, bro, thinking back on it, bro, man, we had some great times, man. That shit was crazy,
Misery does
man.
love company. And what's
Yeah.
that one lyric song? It's like a thousand hard stories or a thousand hard times make a thousand good stories or whatever.
Oh
What's that
yeah,
fucking
yeah,
song? It's
yeah.
100. I don't even know.
I don't know, but I definitely heard the term that they say, like happiness or happy memories. Like if you're on a roller coaster or like quick excitement,
Yeah.
Those memories, they're there for a little bit, that they fade. But if you
Hmm.
do something ugly, something grateful,
Yeah.
those memories, once you get out of it, you're like, I kind of want to go back.
Yeah.
Those are good times that last because they grind on you so hard, you know?
Hmm.
Like the
And it,
Marine, like the corporal's course. That shit
yeah.
stayed with me, bro.
And I think that's it's good to have those healthy dosages, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
of hard
yeah,
times. And maybe like, and I want to say unhealthy dosages, right? Because sometimes we can't
yeah,
control those unhealthy dosages of bad times. But
yeah,
when you have those healthy dosages of hard times, when you get those unhealthy dosages of really bad times, because you've had those healthy dosages, you're like, dude, I already know what I do in these stressful situations. I already know, how I react, what my
yep,
support structure is, who the boys are, and
yep,
stuff like that. You can you
yep,
can you can immediately go into that healing phase and
mm-hmm,
grow from that experience rather than
yep,
sink down and get deeper into your own head or whatever like
yep,
that. Because I've
yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
yeah, because I've,
I definitely taught me to stay humble because if you're a good person, if you're a good fucking person to people, bro, when you need help, people are gonna fucking help you. But if you're a fucking shithead and you shit on people and try to step on people to like lift yourself up, man, when you're going through rough times, ain't nobody gonna extend a hand, man. That's why
no,
being a good person goes a long way, man.
and yeah, because it's almost like at that point, it's like it's all like because bad people typically are selfish because they're like, what can I get
Yep,
out of this relationship?
yep,
It should almost
yep,
be looked at from a selfish perspective. It's like what I want, like I'm gonna be a good person. I'm gonna be a homie. I'm gonna wake up at 2 a.m., on a day that I was like resting. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's fucking
mm-hmm.
Friday night. I didn't decide to go out because I'm tired. 2 a.m. homie calls and says, "Hey, bro, I'm fucking drunk. My Uber canceled. I can't get
Bro,
another
I
one. Whatever.
fucking got you, bitch, and
I
I'm
got you,
bringing water
motherfucker.
with me, motherfucker, too.
I
Yeah,
water, Pedialyte, whatever, bro. I
whatever.
fucking
Yeah,
got you. You know what I mean? When
I'll
you
fucking
have
bathe
those,
you. Yeah,
exactly. When you have those relationships, it makes all those other hard times better. And if you don't make those relationships, it's just the stupidest thing you can do.
yeah,
Especially
no.
especially in the military when you have such a high percentage of those unhealthy dosages
Mhm,
of
mhm.
trials and tribulations.
Yep, yep. Man, that shit. Good karma is a real fucking thing, man. You fucking put good karma out into the world, that shit will come back. That shit will
Exactly.
come back. That
Oh
shit's
yeah.
true, man.
Now that you are getting out, is there something that kind of terrifies you or like
Yeah,
you're nervous about getting out? What is that?
yeah. Well, my biggest thing, man, is I really want to be successful.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure, you're probably the same way. You seem like a fucking, you're gonna win regardless. So
Mhm.
for me, my biggest fear is, I'm trying to get out and get on my own, but
Mhm.
I don't want to go backwards.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to do is get out and start working a regular job when I just gave 8 years to this fucking, to this machine.
Mhm.
If I get out and I'm not making like close to over $80,000 a year,
Mhm.
then it was all for nothing in my
Yeah.
mind. I mean, I got memories and stuff, but my biggest fear is getting out and just going backwards. You know,
Mhm.
you gotta go that. It's that way. We gotta go that way.
I think
You
I
know.
think too, as somebody who's recently gotten out, and I'm not saying I've gotten this figured out, but uh even in life as well, dude, like it's gonna like for me, it was a drop off. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what
it's
to do
gonna
with
be a transition.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Like legitimately, like I don't have to show up for PT. There's nobody
Yeah.
responsible for me. Like all of these
Yep.
things because I did join when I was 18. I
Mm.
joined right out of high school. Um, and I had jobs before then that I was accountable to somebody else. However, they were 16-year-old jobs. But
Yeah.
now that I'm out, I don't know what to do with my hands. They're the homies. There's nobody you're trauma bonding with. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's a different thing. Um, but
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
one of the things is at least I've got to consider, and I think everybody should consider when they get out. If your life is a graph, right, and upwards is progress of life, you are
Yeah.
going to dip because
A
it's a
little
new
bit, you are.
you're
Yeah,
gonna dip
yeah.
because it's a transition in your life. You're not
Hmm.
this is completely
Yeah,
new to you, especially if you joined at 18 or a younger age. So it's gonna be
yeah,
completely different for you. So you are gonna dip, but as long as you continue that mindset of like I like that honestly, like if you had a good experience in the military or a decent military experience, you have that mindset of like I'm going to improve. And it seems like
yeah,
definitely you absolutely do. But you keep that mindset, you're going to trend upward.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so
I think
just
the
don't.
best analogy for it is like I'm on a ladder and I'm already halfway up the ladder, but there's a different ladder I want to get on, which is the civilian side. So I have to get down from this ladder and get on that one.
That's
But
a
I
good
have to
one.
get down.
I
I
like
have to
that.
get down first. Yeah.
And I
That's how
like
I
that.
like fucking picture it in my mind, you know?
But you've already been climbing a ladder. And so you know how to climb a ladder.
Yeah.
And dude,
Yeah.
like honestly, like from what I've been hearing, um, military veterans, like dude, every job application I've looked at, and I've been kind of, I don't want to say lazy. I just I wanted to get my house in order and everything like that, and
No,
especially
100. I mean,
with
you're
getting
transitioning.
transit. Yeah, well, I mean, Brit's still in, and so like we
Yeah.
just finally moved in. To be honest, like we're still unpacking now, but mostly
Yeah.
unpacked now. I got a new puppy, dude.
Got the puppy.
Dude, that thing. Some have said, not me. Some have said that it's like having a new child. Um,
I'm sure.
and god damn, because he was like 6 weeks old when we got him.
Yeah.
But anyway, but what I've heard is the when you put veteran on there, dude, like it's a big deal because, dude,
Yeah.
what's the largest amount of people you've been responsible for as a
Shit,
NCO?
man. I mean, shit. I mean, in all reality, you're kind of responsible for everybody on a lower rank than you at one point. You know, when you're at work, your
Oh
unit.
yeah,
But let's make it even more, concise than that. When I was in the Philippines, whatever, I only had like one guy really directly above me, which was Russo,
hmm
on the line. You
yeah.
know, everyone else was kind of looking to me for answers and everything, and I was trying my best to make sure everybody was sharp. So, I mean,
I
you're in charge of a lot of shit sometimes.
I saw when you were talking to them, it looked like over a dozen.
Yeah, and that was just one shift.
That was one shift. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah, and that
so,
wasn't even
and and,
everybody.
and how old are you?
Well, I'm 28 now. I was 27 when that was happening.
So you were 27 when you were in charge of at least a baker's dozen of people.
Yeah, yeah,
Name another place where you're doing that in a different
yeah,
country, in a different
yeah,
environment with
yeah,
new people because you probably kind of knew some of these people, but
yeah,
you hadn't
yeah,
worked with them day in and
hmm
day out. Dude,
yeah, yeah.
nowhere else in the world will you have
No,
that kind of like involvement and responsibility. And so people
yeah,
when you get out, you say, dude, like especially if you're getting hired by a veteran, you're like, dude, I was in charge of people. They'll understand. I was in
yeah,
charge of everything. And if you can
yeah, yeah.
convey that to even a civilian, like who's
Uh-huh.
never been in, they will
Yeah,
understand that more completely. It's like, dude, holy shit, like this guy knows what he's doing. And for
bro.
me, I was talking to because I did skill bridge.
Oh,
I
good.
was I was talking to some of the guys and they were saying that like that, at least in my job field, they were saying that that speaks super volume
Mhm,
because you're like
mhm.
you've been in charge of 30 plus people or whatever for however many years. They know
Yeah,
that you know how to handle people.
yeah. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. I honestly think, and this is not even like a biased standpoint. I think every single person that I know that I love from like my hometown, I wish they all joined. Cause,
Yes.
bruh, you join, you get to see the world, you like grow through adversity. You know, you learn how to be a winner by yourself.
Hmm.
And then when you get out, you get the VA loan, you get schooling. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if the Air Force taught me or I don't know, but dude, I'm a winner now, and that's 100%. And
Yeah.
when I get out, I'm gonna be a winner. I'm gonna be a winner for the rest of my life. I'm just gonna win. That's just what it's gonna be. You know, I don't know if it's the man or I don't know.
I think for a lot of people it either exacerbates, and that's not the right word, but exacerbates or even molds you into being a better person.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
some
In
people
some
who
ways, yeah,
And for some people, you joined already with that mindset of like, I'm going to be successful.
Yeah.
right? I'm going to strive to be successful. And then for other people, it breaks that out of them, like
Yeah.
breaks that out of them.
Yeah.
It
Not
was,
to not to be corny or nothing,
yeah,
but when I was in BMT, I remember one time this MTI said something that I'll never forget. People say shit throughout life that's just kind of like, you kind of just remember it.
yeah.
This dude was like yelling at us and shit. Obviously, he was fucking us up,
Hmm.
but he was like, "Why the fuck are you guys walking around like you guys fucking been beaten down your whole life?" He was like, "And if you have, now it's time to take it back." And I was like,
Damn.
I was like, that was kind of hard. I kind of noted that down. I was like,
Yeah.
that's real shit. No, that's real shit.
No,
Like
that
he
is.
was like, fuck. You've been
Yeah.
fucking getting beat up your whole life. Well, do something about it. Like it's your turn. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good that's a really good way of putting that. And it give the military definitely gives you the agency to do
Hmm.
that. You know what I
The
mean?
chance. The
The
chance.
chance, exactly. The
Yeah.
chance to
If a
do that.
motherfucker's looking for a chance, bro, sign up for the Air Force or the fucking Marine Corps. You're
Any
gonna
of
get your
them,
chance
dude.
for sure. Any
Honestly,
of them.
any of
Yeah,
them.
any of
Yeah.
them.
If
Yeah,
you,
any of
you
them.
know, it's definitely, again, we talked about it before. I wouldn't trade anything. You can no
Nope.
amount of money, no amount of
Nope.
money for the
Nope.
experiences that I've had.
Hell no, I love being me and I love my life and I love everything, man. I'm like super grateful. Super
Oh yeah,
grateful. Yeah.
yeah. I was definitely a different person before I joined, and I
Yeah, I
know
was a
for
clown.
yeah, dude. I wasn't anything what I thought I would be now.
Yeah.
If you had asked, you know, 18-year-old, 17-year-old me what I'd look like, not even any of my wildest dreams that I would be who I am today, but that's a good thing.
Seen the world, seen the
Yeah.
world, had the
Hmm.
memories,
Yeah.
like
Even if I
it was
didn't see
crazy stuff.
the world, dude, just those trials and tribulations and those hardships that I had, um, I think
That grew you.
that grew me. And like, even if you had asked me during those times where I was going through those deepest, darkest points in my life,
Hmm.
if you could get out of it, would you? I probably would have said yes. But now, looking back at it right now, I would have been
Yeah.
like, fuck no, let that motherfucker
Yeah.
suffer. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
let that motherfucker burn. Yeah, let that
Yeah,
motherfucker burn. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell
exactly.
yeah.
But it's because I know I know I obviously handled it. I'm here. I'm alive. You know, like I survived it, and I'm a better person because of it.
Yeah,
And
100%.
it's yeah, and it's pretty cool to see that. And I'm
Yeah, a big
glad that
struggle
happened.
when I first joined was so my barber, like if you grew up in the hood, barber talk is like the craziest talk sometimes. So
Hmm.
I went home one time and I was like super happy I joined, and I was like talking shit. I was like, man, my cousin's still doing this, my sister's still on this, my mom's still on this. Like motherfuckers ain't doing shit right, they still smoking weed. And my barber stopped cutting my hair and he was like, hey man, he was like, all these people you're talking down on are from the same place you're from, and if you lost everything tomorrow, they would take you back with open arms. They'd open their
Hmm.
door to you and they would fight to take you back. The same people you're talking shit about.
Yeah.
And ever since then, and it was another thing that I remember forever. I was like, bro, you can't judge people, bro.
Hmm.
You can't judge motherfuckers, bro. You
Yeah,
know?
you can't. Yeah, that definitely brings up an interesting point. You can't fault somebody for their experiences or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or the rate at which they grow.
exactly. You can't fault somebody for not growing, for not wanting to grow.
That shit pisses me off.
You know, yeah, no, it's upsetting when they understand that something's wrong, or maybe they don't even understand, or maybe they do. I
They
feel
don't
like
understand. That's the
they don't
problem. They
understand.
fucking don't understand. But you're mad at them because out of love, because you're like, fuck, I want the best for you.
Yeah,
Like, why can't you just fucking,
no, that's
But
definitely interesting.
can't
Yeah,
save everybody, man. I learned that shit a few years in.
that was that's a hard lesson to learn, um, especially so. While I was in, I was a Oscar and you map it, and you experienced both of those while you were in Corporal's course. Remember we were
Yeah,
talking about the different zones that you were in,
yeah.
of stress and everything like that. That meant that I taught people how to teach those classes. And granted, they were just
Mm,
classes, but from what I took from it, I was like, I'm gonna be that guy who other people come to see when they're feeling down and out, when they're
hell
not doing
yeah.
so good and everything like that.
Hell
And
yeah.
dude, it's hard. But I realized at some point you can't save everybody. And it's hard to have that mentality
You can,
because
bro.
all you want to do is bring in all of these people and help all these people. But then when
Fucking
you,
slap them upside the head and fucking put them on the right path. That's what you
yeah,
want to do.
which
But
which you want to do, but then when
bro, you
like
can't, bro.
some people can't do that too. Some people, um, it just they're lost causes too. And I would say lost causes
Yeah.
are what they need right now isn't complete support. And
Yeah, so I think E9 told me that one time. I was like, "Yo, I got this kid. How do I save him?" And he was like, "Well, it's simple. You could tell him the right thing right now, but it ain't gonna compute. If somebody tells him the same thing 5 years later, he'll hear it. Sometimes people just aren't ready. He's not ready to
exactly,
listen. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So, dude, through life, man, I'm telling you, I've been taught to just fucking stop judging people, bro. Like nobody's fucking perfect. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Just fucking whatever,
no,
whatever,
absolutely,
bro.
absolutely. And it's so hard to have that mentality because, like, especially in the military, all you want to do is pick up everybody's pack and put it on your own.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes
That
people
shit'll
need to carry
fucking
their
weigh you down.
yeah. But some people, but yeah, and then it weighs you down or it weighs
Yep.
me down. And then the next time somebody needs me to pick up their pack, I've already got fucking 12 of them.
Yep. And you
And I can't
enabled that person to be a fucking sucker.
exactly. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard to differentiate between that. And I don't think there is no way to understand who's who in that situation. Only hindsight tells.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. That was a good conversation right there. I like that one.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
dude, that's what this podcast is about, man. Is having those conversations because I feel like nobody else is having them, you know.
Hey, man, as grown men, the problem with the younger generation, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. The problem with the younger generation, man, is like nobody wants to have tough talks. Like
Yeah.
I'm talking to kids and I start like speaking straight to the heart and motherfuckers just fold like lawn chairs or they close up or they get like offended. And I'm
Mhm.
like, bro, as grown men, we need to have tough talks. Hey, bro, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting on you because I hate you. I'm getting on you because no one's fucking telling you, bro, you're fucking up. Get your ass in the gym. Get
Mhm.
your ass right. Get your finances right. Like,
Yeah.
this is real man shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And that's why like these people that I've named throughout the podcast, these are people that have helped me realize that or have told me when I was slipping.
Yeah.
Like, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate when people call me out. I take criticism very well.
That dude, I what I hate is when people tell me how good I'm doing. You know what I mean? That's my biggest fucking
Yeah,
pet peeve, dude. Like
yeah,
I remember I was a pretty new E6 and I went up to one of my E8s and one of my other E7s was like, "Hey, you're doing great." He'd always tell me you're doing great, etc. Yada yada yada. And I went up to my
yeah,
E8s and I was like, "Mass Sergeant, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Don't tell me I'm doing everything right. Tell me what I
yeah.
need doing better." Like
For real, because I need to
this
hear
other
it.
person's been telling me that I've been doing great, but I don't feel like that. I need you to tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I can improve, because if you're
Yeah.
not growing, you're dying, dude.
Real talk, man. Real talk. The world's fucking. My grandma used to always say, she was always like a crazy, kind of crazy woman. I never understood what it meant. I thought she was talking, but as I got older, I understood.
Yeah.
And she might not even know, but she said the world turns and I turn with it. And I never understood, but when I got older, I was realizing like, man, you got to be adaptive. The world's
Yeah.
changing. I got to change with it.
Oh
I
yeah.
gotta, I gotta adapt. I gotta learn to adapt on the fly. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely. Yeah.
that's just what I learned to do.
Yeah. And I think too, you brought up an interesting point as well as the newer generation that's coming into the military, and I know it's the same for the Air Force because Brit comes like my wife comes home and tells me the same kind of like similar stories about the generational
Yeah.
shift, and you can be
Hmm.
mad at it. You can sit here and be an old head, right? You can sit here and
Yep.
be like back in my Air Force, back in my Marine Corps, back in my Navy, back in my Army, back in my Space Force. Not really a back in my Space Force, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like
Yeah.
you can be like that, or you can learn how to develop those people, those individuals, and
Hmm.
as Marine airmen, sailors, and soldiers
Yeah. Yeah.
and guardians. That's weird, but you can still so weird, but you can still develop them. You need to find out how to
Yeah.
speak their language.
Yeah, and it teaches you how to become more complex. You know what I mean? You can't be a one trick horse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Bro, I'm
Because you're
constantly.
spinning with the world.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, bro. Shout out grandma, man. She doing. I hope she doing all right, man. For sure. Bro, she used to say that shit, and she used to be on some shit. I'd be like, bro, you tripping? But
you
now,
dr-
now I understand, man. Shout out to grandma, man.
I hate that, bro. When you're young and you're like, you look back and you're like, God, fuck, I was stupid.
Yeah. Oh, bro, I was an idiot, bro. Even when I was an A1C, bro. Even when I was like an E2,
Oh,
E3.
don't.
Don't get it twisted, man. I wasn't a good fucking the stellar airman. I used to get bitched at because I had a loud mouth and I always talked my piece. We've barrel rolled trucks and fields. I've totaled like 4 cars. Like we had our fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But hey, bro, like
you gotta grow up sometime.
wouldn't wouldn't change it for the world.
Wouldn't
Wouldn't
change
change
it.
it for the world.
Yeah, no, I was a,
I'm so glad.
I was a dumbass Lance Corporal. It was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad.
But now, when I walk around, I'm walking around with my chin's high, and people know
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so. That is something I will kind of caution as well when you do get out. Um, there's like this. Have you ever heard of imposter syndrome?
No.
So imposter syndrome is basically like you you don't feel like you feel like an imposter, right? And that's the simplest, but like you don't feel like you are deserving or worthy or smart enough or anything like that for certain situations, right?
Hmm.
And I've experienced imposter syndrome pretty hard once I got out because when I was in the Marine Corps, dude, I walked around with a rank on my collar. I had I had staff sergeant of Marines. When I walked into a room, I demanded respect just
Yeah.
because I had some stupid piece of pot metal
Yeah.
on
Not
my
even on your
collar
character. Off the rip, you got it.
off the
Didn't have
rip.
to earn it. Yeah.
Now walking around, I know that, and it still fucks. And like, I don't sit around like I don't walk around being like, oh, I'm still a staff sergeant, but like I know
That'd be so
because
fucking
I'm
whack.
not. Yeah, dude, it'd be
Yeah.
so weird. But I know because I'm not wearing that rank, I feel have like this little imposter syndrome where I'm like, I am not what I used to be, or I'm not
Oh,
this or anything like that.
damn, that's a scary feeling.
It's a scary feeling, but regardless, you got to go back to what we were talking about before. What other 27-year-old had fucking 20 people below them?
Yeah.
What other
In a different
people
country and shit.
in a
Yeah.
different country, in an austere environment, what other person has gone through the same shit that you've gone through? I can guarantee
Yeah.
you, walking around in Walmart, 1 out of 100 people
Yeah.
have been in the same stressful situations as you, and come out on top like you too. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you don't have to walk around like a big dick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Just
realize
know. Just know.
that you are worthy and you have worth. And so
All right. Yeah.
that's one of the things that I've seen, especially since I got out.
Okay. I
So it's
appreciate that.
weird.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll take that with me, man.
Hmm. What's your favorite story in the military, in the Air Force, where somebody
Oh,
comes up to you and like from hometown and is like, "Oh man, I haven't seen you in 9 years. Like, what's going? Like, how is your thing?" You have this instant one story where you're like, "Dude, I'm gonna tell them
I
this
made
one
it.
because it's the craziest one."
Oh man, it has to be man, I got two that are like tied for that. And one of them is actually happened in the Philippines, but it has to be, man, it has to be, man. All right, I'm gonna tell it. So there's this runway that they land at that they practice runs on in
Hmm.
Japan, and it's away from all like other civilization. There's like a few hundred people on the island. It's just a desolate runway, and they use it to do landings here and there. Then they fly back to the home base on the mainland. And yeah, Corey Walker called me one day. I was freaking headed home from the gym, about to go home, about to change it ready for work. He's like, "Yo, man, this plane's busted in the middle of this freaking island in the middle of the ocean. Like, can you go in like 30 minutes?" And I was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah, yeah." So
yeah,
I shot home. They were like, "Yo, bring a bag for like 3 days or a day or so, because if you're not gonna fix it, you're gonna sleep there." And I was
yeah,
like, "Damn, all right." So I fucking get a bag, and then I get to work, and dude, all that red tape with like, oh, you can't fly on this plane until you get cleared with a different unit, and you can't, dude, all that shit was out the door. They were
yeah.
like, hey, we're taking you over to this helicopter. you're gonna take a freaking pallet jack with you and as much tools as you could carry, and you and one person are gonna get on this helicopter and then evac into this island onto this plane and this runway that was busted to shit, and you guys are gonna bring that shit home. And I was like, "Now y'all got high hopes for the boy, but I'll try." But so we fucking go over the ocean. We're in the helicopter. We land damn near evac in through the rope. We didn't land on the rope, but they landed. We got off, took all our shit, and man, what looked like an impossible task, totally off the books because there was no book to follow. This thing was fucked, And dude, we got that shit. Me and Asia Belfield. Shout out Asia Belfield. She we got that shit back home in like 10 hours. That shit was impressive, bro. Like, but matter of fact, they had so much hope in us that we were fixing the shit. They brought in a helicopter full of a different air crew, and they were like, "Yo," I was like, "Who are you guys?" They were like, "Oh, we're the crew that's gonna fly you home," because the other one hit their duty day already. And I was like, "Who said this motherfucker's gonna be fixed?" And they were like,
"We're here, bro."
All right, cool. Yeah, they were like, "We're here, bro." I was like, "Dude, they told me I was sleeping here if I didn't fix it," So I did what I had to do. I had to use adaptive thinking. Luckily, I was comfortable enough with the job already to where I knew the airplane. I knew a lot about it. I knew how it worked, and I used hella like tactical methods that probably should not ever be used again because it was dangerous as fuck. Used like chains and used like ramps to lift the plane. It was crazy, bro. I used a fucking pallet jack to like put the tire on, dude. It was nuts, right?
Cowboy maintenance.
Then, dude, I had to do it. I had to do it, And I was calling home and I was like, "Yo, I could do this." They were like, "Please, please, for the love of God, just try your best to follow the TO and don't damage anything." I was like, "All right," but they had trust in me. They knew I knew what I was doing. They knew I was comfortable. They had trust in me, and man, we got that plane home, bro. It was the best feeling ever, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, tomorrow when I come in, man, I'm gonna get a medal or something, man." And I came in the next day, man, and they called me to the first shirt's office, and they were like, "What the fuck did you do?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Somebody took pictures and posted it on the Airman NCO page and gave out all the intel on the landing, the time zones, the aircraft tail number." And I was like, "I don't even fucking know that information, bruh." And they were like, "Well, somebody posted it." And I was like, "It wasn't me." And they were like, "All right, fine, get the fuck out." And I was like, "Bruh, this big ass fucking thing I just did got overshadowed because somebody fucking posted it on the internet."
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a fucking. Yeah, I ended up at the end of the day, I ended up. It did get recognized in a decoration, so I got 2 more decks I'm waiting to add to that wall. So,
hell yeah,
Eddington, if you're listening, bro, stay on them, bro. I appreciate you guys back home still showing me love, but I got 2 more coming that'll hopefully help me make E6 before I get out. But that's probably like my best story, man. That's a good story. And if we're gonna end it, man, can I shout out some people real quick?
No, absolutely, dude.
Hey, man, first off, thanks for having me, bro. I miss you.
I miss you,
man.
bro.
I hope you're doing good, man. I got so much love for you, man. I'm so glad I met you. You and your wife have shown me nothing but love, man. Me and you had never had an issue, and I honestly don't think we ever will. We're from different walks of life, different branches, but man, we see eye to eye on so many things, and I think it's just because we're straight-minded, man, without an ego,
Yeah.
So I appreciate you as a friend in my life. But I'm gonna shout out a lot of people, man. A lot of people, everybody back in Japan. I miss you guys. Don't ever think I forget about you guys. You guys all helped me grow, and everybody helped me. Everybody back in Moody. I'm not gonna start naming names. There's too many, but you know who you are. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. And my boy Walco, man, just started this clothing line, man.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
It's called BSG, man. It's called Blood, Sweat, and Guts, man. Here's some girl stuff. This is from me right here. No, it's from my girl. He got girl clothes, man. And he got this shirt right here. This shirt right here is pretty sick, actually. Check this out. He just sent it to the mail. Look at that. Can you read that shit?
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Respect everything.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That shit's hard. And man, it's just a line. It's just a clothing line, man. You just work out in this shit. He's sending clothes out, man. Honestly, this dude Walko is a great dude, and he's starting a line that just basically represents like trying to be a good man and try to fight through life and being a strong person and remaining good through all the bullshit, man. Work hard, hit the gym, work on yourself, stay happy, stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? Don't step on people, bless people. And that's basically what the line is, man. I just want to shout out to Walker real quick and shout
Absolutely.
out to everyone else who helped me along the way,
Yeah.
man.
Send me that link and it'll be in the description. I'll put it in the
Hell yeah.
description when I put it
My
on
boy.
YouTube. There you
Hell
go.
yeah. Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me, dog. I appreciate it, man.
But yeah, dude, it was a pleasure seeing you again, dude. We need to talk more. And thanks for being on High Vis Low Reg. I really appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah. Best podcast in the world, man.
Yeah, we're trying,
fuck
brother.
22. No, just
All right, brother. I love you, brother.
All right, bro. One.